Hey everybody, it's Rob here. This is the Hybrid Summon Necromancer actually hitting for 14 billion damage. So this one is completely insane. And I'll show you the clip here. I also did a 114 pit run here. And this is pretty nuts. So this is my friend here. Big shout out to him. CatsinaCloud. I'm also going to put his player link in the description. And you guys can see here, like he is at the boss here. This is a 110 pit. And he just has all the mages out, all the skeletons out. And he's completely one-shotting this world boss here. Just a little bit. So you can see here, like when the golem hits a target. So I think it's gonna happen the first time when he spawns one ad. The golem hits the ad. So all the buffs up, Grasping Veins, Shadow Blight. Then the golem here first starts hitting this ad here, and then the Holy Bolt Elixir is double dipping your multipliers. And the golem hits it here for 13 million. It procs arrows. And those arrows, the first arrow here hits the boss for 8.7 million in his face, which is already pretty decent. And then there's another hit here for, I think it's 14. So he hits another one of those dudes. Oh, sorry. So he hits once here. And then he hits once again here for 14.5 million damage. And these numbers are just insane. You can see it like pretty clean here at the end. 14.5 billion. Overpower, bolt arrows. Let's go in the setup. I also have the Rift Clear I'm going to show at the end. Like, yeah, these are the numbers here, and this is the build again in the description. This is for high pit runs, and there is an Uber version and a non-Uber version, and my friend already has the Uber version. So first of all, I'm going to show you his items. I'm just going to hover them in the game. So this is the exact gear that he used, and we're going to explain it all in the planner. So you can stop the video if you want to, and just like see his exact gear. Because obviously he doesn't have everything perfect yet, right? So there's a lot of more damage potential. I'm pretty sure this is going to hit in the hundreds of billions of damage, which is also going to be needed to clear those high runs. But yeah, there's also a non-Uber version here, but we're going to be focusing on the Uber version. You just know that there is no Uber version, and obviously the Uber version with Grandfather is much better. Also helps you a lot with your survivability. But still, there's a non-Uber version that you can play, which is also very, very decent. So let's get into it here. So the base principle of the build is that you are stacking both Golem and Mage multipliers, because they are essentially proccing your Holy Bolt Elixir twice. There's like I would say an error in the math code. So whenever you trigger your Holy Bolts, it's already counting in your multipliers. And then when your pets trigger the Holy Bolts, this is the new Elixir. I'm gonna show it to you in game. It's basically applying your pet multipliers again. So this is the elixir here. Elixir of Holy Bolt with pets is insane. When the pets get the last hit, you also get all your pet multipliers. And you know, normally this elixir is already hitting for 10-20 million damage on a normal build. And then this 10-20 million is multiplied again with all of your golem multipliers if the golem does the last hit. So it's gonna be completely nuts, and that's how these crazy 14.5, and it's gonna hit for hundreds of billions of damage at some point. I don't know if Blizzard's gonna fix this. To me, this sounds like a bug, but here we are. This has been reported, I think, and it's it's very, very strong. And yeah, here we have the setup completely. So you're stacking all the stuff here. You're using the Reapers upgrade. This is the second bug this build has. So Reapers, for some reason, is bugged. You are always getting the upgrade 1, even if you're taking the second upgrade. So you just take the chance to farm a corpse, and you have the cooldown reduction anyways. It's the second bug that this build has. And I mean, I'm happy that we had a PTR, because there was probably 10 other bugs that already have been fixed. And we'll see how it's going to go. Like for future seasons, I just wish the PTR goes a bit longer, because still so many bugs make it into the live game. Like, this is literally nothing to do with like your original damage. It's just gonna like scale indefinitely. There's also a bug on the rogue that's gonna allow this to double dip damage and basically go into like hundreds of billions of numbers with the victimized build. So 7 days of PTR is a bit short. I think like most of the bugs have been caught, but yes, some of these here fell through the cracks, and obviously people are using them to clear the highest of pit runs. And then we are rocking the Shadow Mage here, like for another multiplier. And we have the Blood Golem here for damage reduction, because you know in those pits, they hit very hard. Alternatively, you can also go full DPS and take upgrade 2. However, I'm not sure if it's also like double dipping your Holy Bolt, this one. But basically, like what it means, like when your multiplier double dips, is like you apply, for example, your intelligence or your main stat. You guys can see here, right now on my barb, I'm getting about 200% damage, which means a 3 multiplier from my intelligence. And what that would mean is, for my Holy Bolts, if I was playing a Necro, I would get a 3x multiplier for my OG Holy Bolt hit. And then if my pet kills the target, I would get another time 3 multiplier. So I would get 9x the multiplier of my main stat. And that's also the reason why the damage goes so crazy, because all the multipliers are squared, that are generic. And you want to be stacking basically a lot of intelligence. That's why we use Topaz here, for example, in our armor, because the intelligence multiplier is double dipping with this, and just squares basically. So then we are rocking Hardened Bones here, and we want to have Golem Mastery. Again, this is also a multiplier that is applied to your Holy Bolts when the Golem kills something. We have Skeleton Mage Mastery. This one is when the mages kill something. And also these Minion multiplier is also applied to the Holy Bolts apparently. Again, we don't know exactly how it works, so this is just a theory. I haven't even played Necro, I've just been talking to the people that did, and they are not even sure about it either, because it's just bugged. Then we have the Occult Dominion. Oh, it's just like in a very weird way. I mean, I don't know, like, it might be like this was the intent, but who knows? Then we have the Occult Dominion with intelligence, and we have the Grandfather. And the Grandfather is also double dipping, because it basically buffs your crit damage. It buffs your crit damage by ×2, and it also buffs your Golem crit, or your Skeleton crit by ×2. So you're getting a 4x multiplier from the Grandpapa. It's gonna be pretty insane like that. And you also get a crazy survivability boost. I think he had like Masterwork, and it doesn't have a greater FX yet. But if you get a greater FX on the life, you can get almost up to 10,000 life if it's a greater FX and you double crit it. But these 140 all-stats that he uses here on the Grandfather also unlock a lot of Paragon nodes for even more damage. Then we're rocking the Blighted aspect. It's still a Shadow Blight build. So you want to trigger your Shadow Blight, you want to trigger your Corpse Explosion, you're going to trigger your Corpse Tendrils, you want to trigger your Army of the Dead, and all that is multiplied into the Holy Bolts. Then we have the Unyielding Command. This one is also the increasing damage of your pets, which is also multiplied once into the Holy Bolt. And then we have the Minion Attack Speed, which well, makes the minions kill more things, and is also multiplied into your Cult Leader, which is also multiplied into your Holy Bolts. And then the skill tree, we don't need anything here, just need to unlock it. We use 3 here, Huge Flash. You can play the build with Blight, but it makes the playstyle more difficult, because you need to hit everything with Blight. If you want to play this as a pure boss killer, just to hit for these high numbers on the bosses, you can play Blight. Then we have Spiked Armor, Corpse Explosion, Fueled by Death. We have all the multipliers here, Decrepify, Corpse Tendrils, Reapers, Gloom, Terror, because we're doing Shadow damage, Necrotic. Golem Mastery, again, multiplier for Shadow, for the Holy Bolts. Army of the Dead. You can play with this rune, you can play without it. Just like to have it to, when you die in the pits, you can raise your skeletons again. Then you have Bonded in Essence, Inspiring Leader, and Hellbound Commander. And then we have the Shadow Blight here. And in the Paragon boards, we are rocking Amplify, like basically all the damage multipliers. Dead Razor, we have Cult Leader. We have Flesh Eater here. This is also double dipping. It's basically giving you double damage. It's going to be a 1.4 and then X 1.4. So it's going to be a 196. It's going to be 96% damage basically. This passive alone if it's active. Then you have the Scent of Death. You have Essence. You got Abyssal. You got Exploit. Here in the final board you have the Golem multiplier with the Hulky Monstrosity. Again, Planner is going to be linked in the description. We're also going to look at some gameplay footage here. So these crits are crazy. This is like 114 clear. So you guys can just see here how he's absolutely crushing through this dungeon. And again, thanks, big shout out here to CatsinaCloud, one of my moderators who sent me this footage. I don't know, I'm gonna accelerate a bit, I think, here through. Like, there's gonna be a bit of RNG at the end, because you need a boss that has ads. And you can see, like, the numbers are very hard to see in this footage. But you see, like, there's overpower hits, and you're also very safe. You can kind of play ranged. And it's actually the first time I've seen this full footage as well. So you're kind of playing ranged, kiting the enemies around. And it's just a pretty tanky and nice setup. Obviously you can still die, and I think he does at the end of the boss, but you basically just one-shot stuff. But there's this RNG part where the boss doesn't have minions, you can't really kill it because you're completely relying on the Holy Bolt Elixir, which is completely overpowered out of this world. And I think the Necromancer right now is the only class that has this like crazy double dipping because he has just so many multipliers on his golem, and we haven't really heard anything like if this is like the intended way the damage is calculated or if this is just another math error in the damage calculation. Because yeah, I mean the pet is killing the target, it's dealing the final blow. Should the Holy Bolt then have the pet multipliers? Let me know in the comments below. But this is probably one of the only builds that will be able to clear 130, 140 pits, because it seems like, okay, here the thing actually just completely one-shotted it. See, when the Holy Bolts trigger, I don't know if we can see damage numbers because there's just so many of them. But yeah, you guys can see here, when the Holy Bolt triggers, trying to see. I think this player is perfect for this. They just keep dying instantly. There was a one shot. Yeah, you can see the numbers here. 500 million, no overpower. 500 million, just one shots the entire pool for like half a B. And this is like multiple numbers. It's hard to see at the edge of the screen. What is fucking insane. Yeah, and he's just like cruising through this 114. And the boss dies in one shot as well, so it's pretty cool. Most of the bosses you need to stagger, they spawn minions, and then you can just cry. This is actually like the highest pit clears that I've seen, 114. Like, I've been doing 110 on Barb yesterday. I'm going to put that also in the description. But yeah, I don't have this crazy mechanic where the Holy Bolt just hits for billions and billions of damage. So it's going to be very hard to do this with a Barb. I think I'm definitely going to do like 120 or something. And this Necro, is probably going to rock. Or like somewhere in the 120 ranges, 130 maybe even possible. Was there another 7 billion? Ah, that's crazy. Yeah, he's just cruising through this, guys. It's really cool. I'm gonna like keep the video running here, so you guys can see and what's happening. Yeah, the boss kill, like he just one-shots the boss for like 8 billion and 14 billion damage. The Detonate Corpse, yeah, he uses Corpse Detonation for the multipliers. Like you have the Send of the Death, it's 1.4. It's 1.4 for your base arrows, and it's 1.4 for your minion arrows again, so it's basically doubling your damage. It's insane. So this was the entire first floor. Just gonna let this run here at the end. Kind of want to see, and you can comment down below also if you see some of the damage numbers, because it's very hard to tell here from just watching the video. And yeah, you guys can see like most of his damage is just coming from those Holy Bolts. Some crazy stuff. Gameplay actually looks pretty smooth as well. He's not really in danger, or he's not really been in danger so far, because as a minion necromancer you can kind of always, you know, keep your distance. And it's pretty cool. Like here we're gonna see some more Holy Bolt hits. And maybe you can like, you know, use the YouTube editor to check some of the damage numbers he's producing. But yeah, it's completely crazy how it scaled. And I think this one actually might scale with the monster level and enemy HP, so you're only gonna get more DPS out of this the higher you go. But obviously the monster's also gonna have higher HP, so it's gonna become proportionally harder, because you need to kill the first target to trigger those Holy Bolts, right? It's not like you just go in and one-shot everything. You need to kill something, and only then do you one-shot everything. Which is still difficult, and he's like very much keeping his range, so it's very hard to tell those numbers. Like there we had another big hit. Maybe you guys can see it in the video. I'm just going to let this run uninterrupted, because the quality is pretty decent actually. But yeah, he's just cruising through this. And I don't think he killed the boss in this run, because he actually didn't record his full clear. Oh, here. You see, when he actually gets hit, he like survived with like 2% HP or something. This is from CatsinaCloud. Big shout out to him. Oh yeah, here the crazy damage goes again. What's poppin'? There's no link. This is an offline recording that he sent me, guys. He usually doesn't record or stream. So it's not an online recording. Oh yeah, this Necromancer Giga Chat, man. You see, you hear the boss music when the golem walks into the room, man, and just shoots the holy bolts into the bosses. Hell yeah. And with that he summons the boss. I don't think he killed it in this one. But we have the 110 boss kill here. I'll show you the full stuff. No, this is like 40 is lower, but this is the boss kill. So there is gonna be a bit of RNG. The drums of liberation. Necro strong. So I hear the golem just works. Yeah, I mean the Shadow Mages also, but you see here at the boss fight that the golem is doing all the hard lifting. And he actually has decent damage, even without the golem one-shotting the guy. Post the link in the description here. Also in the chat in a sec. So yeah, now like when the boss spawns the minions here, the golem comes, bam, 1 hit, and boom, 2 hits, sayonara. 14 billion, and I think the first hit was for like 8 billion. Yeah, and that's the clears, guys. 114 he did, and this was the 110 and 114. So he actually unlocks like crazy amounts of tiers. But yeah, this is the Hybrid Summon Necro with Holy Bolt Elixir. And
hey man, since you can't roll attack speed on weapons anymore, what would I roll for Thorn's Barb?
I'm just max life and main stat and vulnerable damage. Thank you. Oh yeah, this Necro is crazy, and the planner again is gonna be here. We have a Uber variant and a non-Uber variant. Both are gonna be in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out some of this Necro. I think there's a good chance that this is gonna get hotfixed eventually, but to say it with the words of Rod Ferguson in an interview a couple months back, let them have fun with it. And I think the Minion Necromancer has been a lot of fun, and people really enjoy it. It might just be a bit unfair to other classes, but I mean, we're just gonna join the Minion Necromancer hype and just give in and play some Minion Necro. It's like 5 times stronger than the next best build anyway, so let's go for that maybe. And well, enjoy the Minion playstyle. I think it's really cool. So log in, and I'll see you soon. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.